Waiting for the signal. All right, Denver Broncos, Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. Okay, here I've got to make a tape because the chickens are running around with their heads cut off again over at Sports Talk Radio. And now it's they didn't it seem like I made this video about Deshaun Watson? I didn't talk to you off camera about this, but it just dawned on me. I didn't think about it, but I noticed I'm like, since I made that video, all the talk of Deshaun Watson just like evaporated right after I made that video. Now I got to make a video addressing this nonsense about Stafford. Okay. And you have Sports Talk Radio flip-flopping all over the place. They want to sell this, but they know it makes no sense. And they can't, the funny thing about it is they know it doesn't make sense because the question is this team ready to go to the Super Bowl, right? Of course not. So they have been ignoring the 10,000-pound elephant in the room the whole time. It's the team. The team itself is not good. It's just not very good. And putting in one quarterback, you're not one quarterback. That's what I'm going to call this video. You are not one quarterback away from anything. So you have a quarterback. You have two quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson being one of them. Another quarterback. This quarterback, Stafford, he doesn't even want to come here because it makes no sense to come here. And personally, just from an entertainment standpoint, I would rather him go to the team he wants to go to. That would be the Indianapolis Colts. That's the team he wants to go to. It would be more entertaining to watch him where free runners aren't clobbering this guy. And to me, if the Broncos spend the king's ransom on this guy, forget the draft pick. I mean, just the bulk salary, what you're bringing in on the cap. And let's just, any of these sports talk knuckleheads talking that, he would be a bridge quarterback. Wait a minute. Fitzmagic is a bridge quarterback. Keenum is a bridge quarterback. You don't bring in, you're an idiot. Sports. Anybody that calls him would be a bridge quarterback, you're an idiot. Because you don't pay the top dollar. What is he, a top 10 pay? What is he in the pay scale? Top 10?
Top 10.
Yeah, you don't pay a bridge quarterback. Can you people stop being stupid at Sports Talk? Can you please stop being stupid? I don't want to hear this garbage from you people because you're so friggin' dumb. Okay, Keenum and these kind of quarterbacks, they're Fitzmagic. They are your bridge quarterbacks. Every team that has two brain cells rubbed together, put them in, build the team up, then they get their, whoever. Herbert, they're still working with Herbert because they want to build that offensive line. But that's neither here or there. But I'm trying to just say that I got Cecil Lammey. Okay, Cecil Lammey. Also, he's like talking out of two sides of his mouth. No, this makes absolutely no sense, but we should get him because it's an upgrade because we built this offensive line. Okay, there's too much delusion. That's the problem. What's going on here? There's too much delusion out there. And here's one more thing I want to say. I had Bronco fans coming on saying, well, Mathew Stafford didn't do this because he had a bad offensive line. His offensive line. Okay, so you're telling me the Broncos' offensive line is a step up. Wait a minute. So you just said that the Lions have a notoriously bad offensive line. Didn't we just bring their problem and overpay him, and he's now on our offensive line? His name is Glasgow, which we showed video over and over. This guy getting pushed around, thrown around, injured half the time. Again, when are people going to wake up? Go ahead. I just can't.
No, go ahead. I want you to explain it to Bronco fans because apparently every time I go in the comments section and tell them that it's just not the quarterback, they get all up in their little tickle pink. So I want you to explain it to them in an elementary manner how this is not going to work out if Stafford comes here. You need to tell them that because it's sports talk radio. It's the feel good fans. We have to explain it to them in an elementary manner. Now these are grown-ups here. Elementary manner on how a guy that's 32 years old who's going to be behind Graham Glasgow, who everybody was saying that was an A+ move. I was not one of those people. And you're going to tell me that when he was in Detroit that was a better offensive line, and he got his back destroyed, his ankles destroyed. And I go on the outside platforms here. They're saying that he was injured behind the scenes, and they were telling it in the public. So don't tell me, you feel good fans, when you come to the comment section. I don't need your analytics. I don't need your statistics. What has he done in Detroit? And it's nothing.
You mean their propaganda?
Their propaganda.
Yeah, they want to feel good. Yeah, they didn't want
to explain it to them in an elementary manner because they're elementary minded.
I got a former Bronco going and saying, if you're going to replace the right tackle, they're talking about Jawan James, right? If you get rid of him, well, there's nobody out there. Well, wait a minute. I wanted Coughlin. Just bring him in. I said, bring him in, pay him, because you're going to end up getting rid of. So don't tell me there weren't people there. Okay, stop. There were people there, but you chose to, again, as always, stick your head up your ass and pretend the problem doesn't exist. Now we're at where we're at. I could get into hot tub time machine here in a bit, but I'll simplify this. Stafford doesn't want to come here because this is a place where quarterbacks come to die. I was alone on an island saying don't pay for Flacco. Why? Because you don't have an offensive line. Oh, no. Remember, they were saying back then, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with this line. The guy gets out there and immediately gets killed. Goes to the Jets, who actually have a serviceable offensive line. I showed the difference on film when the Broncos played the Jets. Showed the difference right on film to you people. Yeah, your feel-good film people will not show you that, but I would.
Your highlight 5 and 11.
Your highlight on 5 and 11 teams. The brains behind that stuff. So I show you that the actual. I mean, you had Sam Darnold all day. You talk about holding on to the ball too long. I mean, this guy had forever and a day because we have no defensive line, by the way. You know,
nobody will bring that up.
Yeah. So they had definitely a step up on offensive line because he was well protected the whole game. Flacco actually went there and was serviceable because you people can't understand in your little heads that your offensive line on the Denver Broncos sucks still. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that footage. And I'm going to get to it where we show two, Cushenberry and Reisner, getting pushed like they don't even exist it sums it all up. By one Buffalo Bill, just pushes two guys right out of the way. And I want you to, when you see that, I want you people to explain to me how this is supposedly a functional offensive line when you have that kind of garbage going on. Well, it's one play. No, we had defenders coming up through the middle constantly this season. So now you want to bring Stafford in, a guy that is very injury prone.
And he's your traditional pocket passer.
Yeah. This is the only thing that paying him so much money would serve. If you brought him in, just like Flacco, there would be no way escaping the fact that the offensive line is shit. Okay? Once he's injured and out after spending all that money, you're going to hear these same people that tell you that the offense, there's nothing, Cecil Lammy, how wonderful it is. Well, I've been saying all along that the offensive line, I've been saying it forever.
Just like they were saying all along that you need to pull the guard to spring the running game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They
said that all along.
Yeah. Even though we're on video, we're in the record, we're on record saying to do this. When nobody else was saying this. They're on the record as not saying this. Okay? So, anyway, it just, it's... You said that there was a Denver Post. You sent me the link. I couldn't get into it because I'm not logged into the Denver Post. It says that the move is stupid. Can you explain what the paper said? They can go. Maybe I'll link it up. They can go if they can get a subscription. Read it, but
go ahead. So basically, what this thing was is basically what me and you have been saying all along about this Mathew Stafford hype train that STR and Dove Valley keeps pushing out there for us to gobble up. When it comes to Mathew Stafford, I just want to bring this up. He's very injury prone, like you said, but if he is brought here, I wouldn't be shocked, because you know why? Because Elway has layered himself now on so many levels not to be attacked by people like us and other platforms out there to get the criticism that he did. Why do you think he stepped down? It's not because he was getting too old and not because of his grandkids, okay? If you want to spend time with your grandkids, I understand.
Well, no, wait a minute. Time out. If you want to spend time with your grandkids, quit the job and spend time with your grandkids.
Thank you.
Do us all a favor.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. But me and you are evil platform, apparently, when we talk about this stuff. So, but anyway, going back to the Mathew Stafford topic, I don't want him here, but I have a very good conviction that he is going to come here, because you know why? Because we can give up the number 9 pick. We can give up Drew Lock. We can give up a second rounder and possibly a third rounder. That is basically what that article was saying. And I believe, this is my opinion, I believe that we have the best offer out there to present the Detroit Lions. And if we make this move, STR and feel good, you cannot run it and hide anymore, because this move.
Yeah, when it goes down like the Hindenburg and
just like Flacco, just like what happened.
Just Flacco, like in flames. And you cannot. And we'll take Fangio, put him off to the side. We'll take Peyton and put him off to the side. We're going right for Elway. We're going right for Elway.
And Shermer.
Put him off to the side too.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going right for Elway.
And I've been going after Elway for 5-6 years, and I'm called a Bronco hater just because I don't like what he's doing as a general manager / player personnel.
You know what I told Chief fan? I went on a vacation. I told you about that up in the mountains. And there was a Chief season ticket holder. I said, well, whatever you do, I said, when Mahomes retires, do not make him a general manager under any circumstance. Tell him, do not do that.
I also want to bring up something that I've been getting in the comments section, and I just want to bring this up real quick. And I'm not going to attack anybody, because that's not what I'm going to do, okay? But when you present me statistics and analytics, and I can present you film, 99.9% of the time, the film is going to supplant the analytics and statistics on what you're trying to present. Just because that Mathew Stafford finished with this, it didn't contribute to winning. It didn't contribute to an organization that's on the up and up, okay? And to say that Mathew Stafford is a top 10 quarterback, and to say that Mathew Stafford will come to Denver and go head-to-head with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and I haven't heard this at all. The Chiefs have a defense, man. The Chiefs have a defense.
Oh, no, they don't. No,
you said that. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, they said they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they didn't. They said the Feel Good fans said they didn't. Yep.
They said it at the other paid for platforms.
They said it last year too. They said it last year too, and look how they played towards the end of the season and in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are a well-coached oil machine.
It's the delusion, because, well, you watch the Buffalo and the Kansas City game, right?
Let's get into that, please.
Well, well, Patrick Mahomes, every throw he threw was over 50 yards, right? Every single pass that Patrick Mahomes passed was over 50 yards. Every single one of them. It was all him. It wasn't the block.
It wasn't Tyreek Hill. It wasn't Travis Kelce. It wasn't this offensive line. It was just Patrick Mahomes. Just like when Mathew Stafford comes to Denver, it's going to be all Mathew Stafford, and he's going to be killed by week 3. By the way.
Yeah, at least
your backup quarterback, Brett Rippon. Who's going to be your backup quarterback?
They love Brett Rippon. He's going to be a starter.
I think he's a future coach, but not a backup quarterback in this league. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I think he's a backup, and that's it. He's good to have as a backup.
I don't think he's a good backup. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, let's. I just wanted to get to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bills. Now, what I saw in my film was a very good Chiefs defense. I saw Mahomes Most of his throws, very high percentage, short to medium passes. Most of them, almost
not
all.
under the first line scrimmage. Bring that up, please, because we have to talk it in an elementary fashion here on the show.
Yeah, I see a quarterback that's in a nice pocket. Does it? And Bills are a good defensive team.
Absolutely.
So I see an offensive line, not only that protects Mahomes, but did you see that huge run by 17? I don't know who 17 is on.
Mikael Hardman.
Hardman. That was a blocking like you could. That was textbook blocking that you could show a junior high, a high school, college. That's the way you do it.
But when you come to Denver, they can't even do that right.
No, they can't. No.
But this offensive line is a top 15 offensive line.
Yeah, we can't talk about that. We can't. It's all the quarterback, right? Mahomes threw 50-plus yard passes the entire game. Offensive line had nothing to do with it. The blocking schemes had nothing to do with it. The receivers had nothing to do with it. Their tight end, their defense had nothing to do with it. It was strictly Mahomes. He was by himself on the field, just throwing passes. I think he even caught his own pass at one time.
Absolutely.
If you listen to these people, that's the delusion. Okay,
but also the delusion is preventing you statistics and analytics is going to supplant film. But every time I go back and watch a film and I get into arguments in the comment section because I have to talk about it in an elementary manner, and I have to go back to this because people are so brainwashed by STR.
You need to figure out how to get that film get it out there.
I will. But when it comes to the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, what makes them so much better than the Denver Broncos, because we're not a quarterback away, is because they have good front sevens. They have good offensive lines. They have good linebackers. They have good safeties, better safeties than we have. You really think that Justin Simmons is better than the Honey Badger?
Well, let's talk about the linebacker.
He is not better than Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, let's talk about the linebacking. Did you see Tony Romo was explaining? Did you see the coverage their linebackers for the Chiefs were doing on Bills receivers?
Even the Bills linebackers on the Chiefs receivers at some points in that game too.
Well, far beyond what we have.
What we witness on a weekly basis.
That. We can only
because we are an evil platform.
Well, I know, yeah, because we want to talk about things that matter.
And we talk about the truth. We don't put out bullshit. When it comes to the free runners, I saw Josh Allen getting free runners all the time. But when it comes to Drew Lock and this team, no, we can't bring that up. But with the Bills, we can bring it up because they have Josh Allen. Did you hear? Josh Allen, elementary style. Josh Allen.
No, they had one free runner. Their offensive line let one free runner in. And what did Tony Romo say about that? He immediately...
There's nothing you can do.
No, he immediately criticized the offensive line. He said, he immediately criticized. He said, you cannot allow that to happen. And it was just one free runner in the game. Not every other play, you got a free runner coming in.
Just like when you go on other platforms, and you send me the links, by the way, and I like what you say on those platforms. So when you bring up the free runners and you show what's happening, I mean, they're so delusional to the fact they're so elementary. Like their brain is elementary. Their brain is like a walnut. They're so focused on one thing, and it's the quarterback. Quarterback. We don't have a quarterback. We need to go get Mathew Stafford and Deshaun Watson. Oh my gosh, Mathew Stafford.
Well, they don't want to come to the Broncos. The bottom line is they don't want to come to the Broncos because of all the reasons and the guy that's running it.
You guys can wishful think all you want, but Mathew Stafford and Deshaun Watson, in their minds, think that Denver is a bottom feeder team. Okay?
Yeah. Well, did they think
just
it?
Like them.
Wait a minute. Do they think it or can they see it with their eyeballs?
Both.
It doesn't pass the eyeball test, okay?
No,
why would Mathew Stafford leave one Detroit Lions to come into another Detroit Lions?
Yeah, just like you said, if Mathew Stafford comes to the Denver Broncos, this is going to be the Detroit Lions 2.0, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to call the film. We've just now become the Detroit Lions.
Oh, people are going to give it. Oh, we're not the Detroit Lions. We have.
No.
We have Super Bowls.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Elementary thinking here.
So, this is what I've read. I've read that Indianapolis is and the Lions are trying to work something out. They are, because that's where that's exactly where Stafford wants to go. He does
and
not
I hope
want to
Stafford does go there too. I really hope for Stafford's sake that he goes there. Sorry.
Yeah, I do too. Don't come to this mess here.
No.
Again, I think the best thing would be to force the Denver Broncos to finally do what they should have been doing all along.
Let's stick with a quarterback and build the team around him.
Yeah, there's your bridge quarterback. I mean, if you think Locke isn't the answer, you can still call him a bridge quarterback because you're not paying him the king's ransom. But you got to do something about the linebacking. You got to do something about the offensive line. You got to have defenders, and Casey ain't going to do it, that can actually penetrate in the face of the quarterback. Okay, that did not happen when Casey was in.
We haven't had a player like that since Malik Jackson left. And I said that was a big mistake at the time.
Yeah. And maybe even Wolf to some degree, but not like Malik Jackson.
But not on a consistent basis that Malik Jackson was applying the pressure to during Super Bowl 50, because to me, he was the unsung hero of that defense, of that front seven. And people, it was Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. Can I say something right now? We have a coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. His name is Brandon Staley. He used to be the outside linebackers coach with the Denver Broncos under Vic Fangio. He was the defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams. And why do you think that he had so much success there? Number one, they have better player personnel, but they have a guy named Aaron Donald, who is this decade's generation's version of Warren Sapp, in my opinion, who consistently gets pressure on the quarterback up the middle. That's the quickest way to get to the quarterback. And I'm sorry I'm saying this slow, but I have to say in an elementary style, the quickest way to get to the quarterback is through the offensive line up the middle. Go ahead.
Yeah, offensive line. If you can bring a linebacker in through a gap field. Yes. So on the other platforms, they were talking about, let's go for edge rushers. Okay. Can we get okay, we got an edge rusher. Can we get that middle? No, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's not talk.
It's fine. It's fine. That it's just lazy.
Harris, it's fine too.
Harris
he only shows up against bad
let me ask you this: where was Harris against the Raiders and the Chargers? Those last
Raiders, he didn't. The last game of the year, but he didn't play. But I see where you're going with this. Against the top-notch teams, he is nowhere to be seen.
No.
But against lesser competition, he's a beast. But yet you're going to tell me that we should pay him $15 million a year,
and not bring in somebody like Jordan Phillips. Okay,
don't.
Why are you talking about this guy? Why? Because if you put him next to Harris, maybe the two of them, they actually do get that push up the middle. There is no push up the middle. We showed it on the video time and time and time and time again. There is no push up the middle. This is why this is a 5-11 team. Yes, you should be getting the worst schedule or the hardest schedule. But shouldn't you be the one that's the hardest schedule on somebody else's schedule? Isn't that really what we're trying to do? Now, that's what we're evil. That's what we're evil. We're evil because we want to be the evil team that beats the crap out of the other teams.
I want to be the team that every week that you come against us, that you are feared to play us.
Yeah.
You are feared to play us.
Does Matt Stafford make you afraid?
No.
Denver Broncos?
No, he's like, we can hurt him. He's fragile. He's fragile.
Yeah, we're going to take him apart. We're going to go.
Just like when Flacco was here.
Exactly. But they can't. They don't learn. They don't learn anything.
No, they're, like I said, their brains and feel-good fans and STR, their brains are the size of a walnut, and they're elementary minded. That's where I've come to the conclusion, because you can argue with them all you want in the comment section, but they're so keen on a quarterback that they forget about how, okay, you're going to tell me straight up that these linebackers are starting level caliber linebackers in the National Football League. Yet when I'm watching the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills linebacking core, they're on a whole nother generation.
They're in another universe.
They're in another universe, and the safeties. I would 100 times out of 100, I would take the Honey Badger over Justin Simmons.
Well, yeah.
Okay, Justin Simmons, you're a good man off the field. Okay, cool. But again, I'm going to continue to say this. He is not a top 5 safety, and I do not pay him top 5 money to a position that is not dependable like the defense and offensive lines are in the National Football League.
Absolutely. Because that money could go to the front 7 where you need it. You can get somebody that is just as good that you don't have to pay that much. They're out there. And you can put that money towards that front 7, making it harder on the quarterback and easier on the your safeties and your corners.
And I do want to say this. There are a few platforms out there that are currently projecting the Broncos to draft another receiver. And can I say this to that? This offensive tackle class, and I'm not going to jump forward because the draft is ramen noodle soup, like you brought up. One of my favorite videos from you, by the way. When it comes to that, this offensive tackle class, and you need a right tackle, there's a guy named Slater from Northwestern who's an absolute stud. I would take him at number 9. Or Panay Sewell.
Quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Corner. Yeah, we need a corner. We need a cornerback. Yet you could get. Well, there's a guy out there named Ronald Darby, for instance, that I want to bring up. That I wanted Ronald Darby. You wanted him too. And look how he balled out in Washington.
Yeah, and who did we get stuck with?
AJ Boye, the Robin to Jalen Ramsey, who balled out in L.A.
You know what's sad is that neither one of us. Look how much money Elway is getting. You know, and you know what?
And I'm working at a job that is stressful as it is. I'm sorry. I'm going off topic. Go ahead.
So, you know what Peyton needs to do is he should go and ask Elway, say, who's scouting your offensive line, for instance? Who's scouting your linebacker? Who are these people? And then go in their office and say, pack your bags. You need to go. I got to get on the phone. I'm going to get it on the phone. I'm going to put out. We got to get people who can actually scout the players. You know, these kind of players, because it ain't happening at the Denver Broncos. But you listen to Sports Talk Radio. Oh, we just rebuilt. We did a crappy job rebuilding is what they should have said. And they can't even really honestly say that with a straight face that they rebuilt the offensive line.
But this is what the STR and the Feel Good fans can't get through. Oh, they're freaking out that George Payton isn't at the Senior Bowl. I mean,
the scouting quarterbacks.
Scouting quarterbacks, scouting Kyle Trask. I mean, really, I don't. This whole.
Well, maybe that's a good sign then. Anything that anything that Peyton does against the Feel Gooders, Sports Talk Radio,
they throw a huge
good thing, because all they've done is cheerlead us to a 5-11 team.
Are you proud? Can I say this? Are you proud to be 5-11 and you see platforms out there providing you highlight film instead of film breakdown like you? Like me, I know I haven't shown film breakdown, but 90% of the stuff I say on this channel has come true with this whole game plan every week. I was the first person to bring up the pulling the guard. I was the first person to bring up the Jerry Jeudy struggles. You were the first person to bring up the Tyreek Cleveland situation, which I think is very interesting, by the way. One drop and you pull him out, and you have a guy who's a diva who drops 5 balls.
Excuse me. See, I got a tweet here. I got a tweet. I've got to tweet out. I'm not getting enough.
And you know what they say when we do that stuff, that we are too hard on that kid. But he's
no.
He's a rookie. No. He's paid millions of dollars to play a game that he's played his whole life, and he can't do what he did at Alabama.
Do you remember
the football?
Do you remember? I was the guy. It was me. I was the guy that called Cortland Sutton out. I went nuts. And after I did that, who called Cortland Sutton out? Sanders.
Yep.
I made that video, and then Sanders went up his ass, and it helped. I mean, I'm looking at
look how beneficial that Cortland Sutton, I think, is a better player than Jerry Jeudy, because I don't see Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton doesn't go on social media and complain that he's not getting his catches. Yet every time I see you try to get a catch, Jerry Jeudy, you drop the ball. So why will I ever go to you? You have to build that trust within the organizations. Every time I see Jerry Jeudy on the sideline, nobody wants anything to do with him because he's a complainer. He's a whiner. He has Go ahead.
No, exactly. That's it. So I said that about, and because what I'm looking at on film was Cortland Sutton just lazily running routes. There also was some of that going on this season with some of our receivers
with
too.
With Jeudy, with Patrick, with Tyree Cleveland, even in some games he was running KJ Hamler as well. But Tyree Cleveland and KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick were better than Jerry Jeudy this year.
You know what I think too is that I think that the bottom line is that this whole team is going to have to get blown up. The scouts are going to have to go. Scouts and coaches are going to have to go. We got to get people that really understand football 101 and know how to get football players. And we need management that makes football moves. They're not trying to get the biggest and brightest and make the big splash. They know to do what Kansas City, do what Pittsburgh, do what the Ravens, do what the Patriots, do what these kind of teams.
Even the Saints.
The Saints do what the Saints. Yes, these kind of teams.
That's why I wanted that GM. That's why I wanted that guy. What was his Fontenot? That's why I wanted Fontenot so bad. Because
I'm sure Fontenot was brought in to see if Breeze somehow would come to Denver.
Because it's all Drew Brees. It's not Ryan Ramczyk, an all-pro right tackle, which we passed on to spent all of our resources for a left tackle. Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to burst your bubble, but once he got that contract, he wasn't playing at an all-pro level. I'm sorry.
No,
there was times where he was getting beat, and I'm sorry.
One of my good friends, he's from New Orleans, and he is a Saints fan, and he was telling me about 4 or 5 years ago that they were talking about getting rid of getting rid of Drew Brees, and he was like, they're crazy because our offensive line we don't have an offensive line at that time, so he was struggling.
See, other fans and other fans for other teams get it, but
why can't the Minnesota Vikings? Look at the Viking fans. They're like, we could hang on to Cousins if we can just get him some protection up front. So that's what I'm saying. So if they brought Stafford in, that's the only way that they'll admit that, no, I guess the offensive line, but by that time it's too late because he's already old, he's already used up, and now you're going to just get him crippled. I mean, basically, even sometimes I think that even the Broncos offensive line of the 70s was in 77 was better than this because Craig Morton needed hip surgery, but they were able to at least give him some protection until he went to the Super Bowl. But
I want to say this. I just want to send my prayers and condolences to Tony Jones. He passed away. He was one of the best tackles to ever play in the Broncos uniform.
Oh yeah.
And I just want to say this. I don't want to hear anybody compare this offensive line to the 97, 98 offensive line. If you're going to say, wait, you cannot say that.
No way did somebody ever say that. That is, wow. You have to be so brainwashed.
They literally said like, once we get all 5 back here, this could be better than the 97, 98. This could be top notch. One of those offensive lines where you could. It's bad out there. It's really bad. It's really bad. I don't want to hear it from Bronco fans. I don't want to hear it. Because this offensive line can't even hold their jockstrap. No. You're going to really tell me that Cushenberry is better than Tom Nalen, who should be in the Hall of Fame? And look what he did. He left STR quick because they were telling him what to say and not to say.
Yeah, no.
And he was a village idiot DMAC.
Yeah, well, I got a couple. Then you have Oakley Dokley Stokely. That's we got to make this happen. Got to make this happen. Got to make this happen.
Same with Schlereth.
Why? So you can bury another quarterback?
Yeah, I can't believe. Just like you said, his wife cut his balls off, and now he went too much into Elway, and he wants Mathew Stafford. They could say 10-6 in the playoffs. 10-6 in the playoffs.
Everything we said. If that's your goal, then you haven't learned anything. You're never going to be anything. You're going to be maybe a one-hit wonder. I mean, Stafford hasn't even won a playoff game. Am I right?
He's like won one or two. I don't know. I really haven't.
I don't think he has won a playoff.
He's been to two playoffs.
I think he's been to them, but I don't think he's won them.
Okay, I don't know. I haven't kept track about his.
But again, when I think about the quarterback, I'm thinking about the team around him as well. Just like Denver, you're just taking it, and then I know he doesn't want to come here.
No, he'd rather go to Indy, who have a better offensive line.
To go to Indy.
I mean, okay, Bronco fans out there, would you rather go to Indy or would you come to Denver? Oh, Denver, they're better offensive line than Indy.
Oh no, yeah, of course they got a better off. Yeah, of course they do.
I'd rather have Quentin Nelson right now. I'd rather have Ryan Kelly right now, Brandon Smith. I mean, you're right. You're right on the money. Everything that this guy says is true. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay.
Well, you know what happens with these people? They go to those places. They're all in the group together, and they start agreeing with each other.
Yes.
Agree. Yeah, it's Mathew Stafford. That's all Mathew Stafford. But this is the thing. Nobody is talking about the team. Nobody's talking
about the quarterback. Quarterback makes everything go. Quarterback.
I feel like Groundhog's Day. I feel like we're just reliving the Flacco thing all over again.
Absolutely.
And then everybody was Flacco. And then when the offensive line got him killed, well, this guy's horrible. He's the worst.
Just like what we said about what would happen to Locke and Fangio. Look how divided that is now. I mean, I didn't want it to happen, but they're done with Locke. I mean, you predicted it. They're done with Fangio. I was one of those people even agreeing with you that they're going to give up on Fangio early.
Well, this is the thing about
what does Fangio have to work with? He's a
Wait a minute. This is the thing with Fangio.
He's not a head coach.
They keep saying that he just wants to be a defensive coordinator. Well, what did I say from the beginning? I said he was hired to be the defensive coordinator. He was hired to be Wade Phillips. He was never the head coach of this team.
It's not Ed Donatel. I love Ed Donatel. Don't get me wrong, but Ed Donatel, no. Vic Fangio is not going to give up his play calling duties to Ed Donatel. Ed Donatel is a secondary genius, but he's not a defensive genius.
Well, wait a minute. But Fangio was hired to be the defensive coordinator.
I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but this whole thing is a mess. I mean, you have the head coach. So me and you who believe the head coach is John Elway, he's just layer upon layer upon layer upon Shermer, Fangio, Peyton. He has layered himself to get away from this mess. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Well, and then you got paid for sports talk radio, paid for platforms. Don't look at Elway.
Go buy our merch.
If you look at Elway, you're evil.
If you criticize Elway, you're an evil platform.
Jeez. Good Lord.
Yeah, but everything that we have said about this team this year, haven't we been the first people to present it to the elementary feel-good fans and SDR and Elway?
Okay, why is there a GM being brought in the first place? Did it have to do with the things that we've been talking about that nobody else would talk about?
No, because everybody is so focused on the quarterback. The quarterback is the whole organization. It's the quarterback. It's the core. The GM doesn't contribute to winning.
GM is just a paperweight, sits in an office. It doesn't do anything.
And you know how I can supplant all that stuff? Just look at what Buffalo's done with Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. Dude, I wish we had those two.
We are so far as an organization away from that. Just this whole Stafford thing, it's the Cleveland. You said it yourself. It's the Cleveland Browns all over.
It's a news article every week, just like what happened with Cleveland when they finally got their act together. But it's a news article every single week. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit there and you take a step back, and when I have to hear in the comment section that GMs don't contribute to winning, okay, and even the quarterback. Look what happened when they had Tyrod Taylor. They were building the team, and then they got Josh Allen, put Josh Allen on top of that. Just like with Kansas City, they did the same exact thing with Alex Smith. Who else is another example? Seattle, they had the Flynn guy, and then they brought in Russell Wilson, put him on top of that. Okay, this is ridiculous. I don't care what analytics you have, statistics. When I watch the film, you guys are dead wrong, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud to say that. I'm sorry, I'm proud to say that. Because I'm tired of talking to elementary-minded football IQ people. You said it yourself. There is no way that this front seven can provide any pass rush to any quarterback unless you're going against a bottom feeder.
I'm not saying it. I showed it all year long.
But you're wrong. You're wrong. Remember, you're wrong.
But I'm not. It's not me. I'm showing you video. I'm showing you video that this is not happening.
No, that's fake video.
Yeah, I had a whole bunch of guys in Broncos uniforms and opponent Yeah.
It's the Madden.
And fake announcers.
The Madden game.
Yeah, and I put in the CBS logos and whatever. But there's only one quarterback, truly one quarterback that would actually help this team. But you need a time machine. Juwan James, fire up the hot tub time machine. You'd have to go back in time and get Fran Tarkenton when he was young and bring him here because he didn't have an offensive line either, and he was the master of run, plant, throw, run, plant, throw, run, plant, throw.
Can I say something to that? For me to know that, my football knowledge doesn't go as back as you, but I grew up with football, ladies and gentlemen. I grew up with football, okay? I know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to speak here and put you bullshit. This is why I love doing this. This is why he loves doing it. We have a football IQ bigger than these elementary people here, okay?
Don't say that. Oh, they're evil.
I don't care. You guys can hate me all you want. I don't care. I'm confident in what I have to say here, and this is the last thing I have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get Mathew Stafford, it's going to be the same thing like Flacco. You are going to regret this decision. Regret this decision.
All you will hear about is how bad the offensive line is. We've
been saying for years.
Yeah, we've been saying this, but no. And it's not going to do any good now because you've just saddled up all that money on a guy that's in the hospital, sitting in the hot tub with Juwan James.
Graham Glasgow.
Yeah.
What a disaster that contract is.
So just really quick, they were talking about the offensive line. They were saying, oh, this is Elijah Wilkins now. His value is just going through the roof. And I'm like,
Elijah Wilkinson, he's a guard. He's a guard.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
They this is the deal. They were talking and trying in their best way to make up stuff, knowing that they're full of shit. Like they really want to push this Mathew Stafford, but in any way that anybody with two brain cells looks at it, they come to the same conclusion that this, does he give you a few wins? Maybe not, but the team around him isn't. They can't escape it. They cannot escape the fact that this team is not a good team. And it comes down to the fundamental core level of the team.
This team is bad. This team isn't a quarterback away, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, if everybody spent this much energy on focusing on the core of this team, this much excitement, this much core, it would pay off down the road. It's not exciting as bringing in Mathew Stafford, but it's exciting when you are in the playoffs and the entire front line is protecting your quarterback. Okay, when you get that quarterback, they're running blocking schemes that actually work and get big chunk yardage, even when they're backed up, especially when they're backed up, because
they're being road graders.
Yeah.
They're being road graders. They are giving holes to running backs that are making them running backs look like top 5 running backs in the league. There's a guy out there named Ezekiel Elliott. Ever since that offensive line hasn't been the same in Dallas, he hasn't been a top 5 running back. I mean, you go back and watch that offensive line in Dallas. Look how good they were making Dak Prescott look, and Ezekiel Elliott.
Well, that's why you build those offensive lines up. And they are gold. I mean, they are the goose that lays the golden eggs for the offense. Anybody who's played football honestly knows that.
Why do you think Denver won those Super Bowls in the late 90s? Because of their offensive line. They set the tone for the game, and the defensive line. They set the tone.
Alex Gibbs. Just wanted to say this really quick about the offensive line. If Denver's offensive line was so great, how come when the Broncos were backed up on their goal line, they couldn't open a hole to save their life? When they were the worst team. If I'm not mistaken, they were the worst team in 3rd and 1 conversions running the football. They could not do it. They don't have the offense to even get a first down on a 1-yard run on 3rd down.
Can I say something too? Why was it when we were facing the Raiders in Las Vegas, when they were beating the living out of our offensive line and getting our quarterback killed? When I saw free run after free runner, it wasn't just on the side; it was up the middle. And the Raiders' defensive line is nothing. It wasn't there nothing to write home about. Unlike the Bills and the Chiefs' defensive line, but the Raiders' offensive line can push around our offensive line. And they're not even on the level of the Bills and Chiefs defensive line. But the Raiders offensive line can push around our offensive line. Go back and you can go watch. If you're going to go off a highlight film, just go back and watch the highlight film. It was clear as day.
Yeah, Raider highlight films.
Yeah, go ahead. If you live by highlight film, aka Cody Rourke, if you're going to live by highlight film, then please just actually stop bullshitting people. Sorry.
Well, we're frustrated because we can't get this level of excitement, and I know it's hard, but we can't get this level of concentration in the core of this team. Nope. We got management that is just
it's Al Davis management basically.
Well, yeah, that's what the Raiders of the 90s were all about. Getting a new quarterback, getting a new head coach, getting new offensive coordinator.
Same with the Browns until they got their act together.
And they got themselves in the – I know.
This team is the new Browns. The Broncos are the new Browns. Quarterback every year. We should have a jersey and name off all the quarterbacks they've had since Manning.
Well, that's the whole point. When Broncos play a team – what do they always feature? The carousel. They feature a carousel of quarterbacks, but that's wrong. It's not a carousel. It's a graveyard. They should just show bodies being thrown in a hole and dirt being put.
Or they should have like the WWF days with the Undertaker with his tombstone with every single quarterback that
exactly like the OK Corral, they're all going to get buried. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. This is
they've already got the sports talk radio has already pounded in the headstone of Drew Lock.
Yeah, now and then once Stafford fails, the same thing with Stafford.
Yep. We'll commission that headstone. Bring it in.
Yep.
Well, these were the same people that said we're going to hold if Fangio doesn't work out, if he doesn't, we got to start holding Elway accountable. They lied.
Oh yeah,
they're not. Yeah, they're not doing it.
No. So because they're like I said, even the fans out there. That I understand where you're coming from. Where there's fans out there that are providing good takes like me and you, but there's a lot of fans out there that have elementary minds and peanut minds. That you said that you guys were going to hold Elway accountable. You guys said you guys are the front force. You don't have to buy their tickets. You don't have to watch their games. You don't have to do all that. Okay? But you said this is it for Elway after the Flacco ordeal or whatever. You said that. But you guys reverted back to your feel-good crap feel-good fans, and you reverted back to the bubble. You reverted back to the John Elway spoon-fed bubble. Exactly. The spoon-fed, because you guys are spoon-fed.
I don't want a bigger one.
Stafford. Deshaun Watson. Joe Flacco.
So it's bad. It's bad out there. We are a graveyard. We're a graveyard. Yes, we are. This is where quarterbacks come to die. We are the new Cleveland Browns.
I think we're
We're
the
Browns.
Well, I think if you look at it by time frame, we're probably going through quarterbacks faster than anybody.
Can I just say this real quick? We're the STR in Broncos country and the feel good fans are the only people talking about Stafford coming to Denver. When I go on outside platforms like Pro Football Talk, etc., they're not even talking about Stafford coming to Denver because they know that we are a quarterback graveyard.
Yeah, no, they know.
They know.
Well, okay. I'm reading Stafford does not want to come here.
Why would you?
Of course he doesn't want to come here. The Colts give him the best chance to succeed.
Or the 49ers.
Or 49ers. That's going to be a stretch for him, though, at his age.
You never know.
Well, I just know that the Indianapolis and the Lions are working together, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's not the Broncos and Lions.
Yeah, I'm getting that from Lions country. They're Indianapolis. And Indianapolis.
You should just link your article because that just says it all. You don't need to link your article because that article says everything that me and you've been talking about.
Okay, the one from Indianapolis.
Yes, because we have to do it elementary style. If we do it my style, they're not going to understand it. If you do it your style because yours is perfect, and it will help feed that notion that Stafford and Indy are working together to get this deal done. I think that's elementary enough for these feel-good fans and analytic people and statistical people to understand that.
Well, no, any con artist every con artist knows to always give you statistics. That's a con artist's favorite. That's a favorite card up their sleeve.
Oh yeah, I know it is.
I can make a case on all kinds of statistics.
Yeah.
But that's why I show film. That's why I bought the channel, because I wanted to show film.
Absolutely.
And when I see a Buffalo Bill, like the nose tackle, or just pushing two Bronco offensive linemen like they're nothing.
It's just one play.
It's a big play. Because let me tell you what. You're not seeing that in Baltimore. You're not seeing that in Pittsburgh. You're not seeing that in Kansas City. You're not seeing that in Buffalo.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, where else? You're not seeing that in the Saints.
Pittsburgh.
Okay. You're not seeing that with San Francisco when they're healthy, I guess. Okay. What other teams out there? Maybe
Browns. The Browns.
The Browns. Maybe even the Raiders.
Yeah, Raiders.
The Raiders' offensive line.
That's 9 teams.
Yeah, just off the top.
9.
Just off the top of our head.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think other playoffs. Green Bay, maybe.
Yeah, Green Bay. Indianapolis.
Well, I was told Green Bay didn't have a good offensive line. That could be true. I don't know enough about Green Bay. But they seem to be good enough that Aaron Rodgers can get the job done.
The Buccaneers' defensive line is when you have Vita
Vea. Or the Buccaneers' offensive line.
Yeah, Indianapolis.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, so you don't see. You'll never see that on their team. But it's just one play. But it's just one play that you would never see on these other teams.
And we brought over a guy that if we, I think that your analogy with the Graham Glasgow thing is genius because it provides so much truth
insight.
Insight on what we've been saying is that, okay, so if Graham Glasgow and Stafford and all them were doing the offensive line was terrible in Detroit, then you bring in Graham Glasgow to a 4-year deal. A 4. Year deal.
It just doesn't make sense.
Oh my gosh!
It doesn't make sense. Who was that guy in Oakland they got? What was that guy? He was a total waste offensive lineman from Oakland that came here.
Menelik Watson.
Menelik Watson. Okay, then you bring in Hot Tub Time Machine.
Donald Stevenson.
Then you bring in Glasgow.
Ron Leary.
And then I guess you got rid of the center, which you probably should have kept and drafted, but you decided you weren't going to draft. Waited. I mean, maybe Cushenberry would be better if he'd have been behind Tom Nalen. Well, not Tom Nalen, but
Paradis.
But no, we couldn't do that. We
can't. We're too good for that.
We'll just talk about Stafford.
Yeah, we'll just talk about Flacco. We'll just talk about Flacco. We'll talk about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson wants to go to the Jets.
Does that tell you everything you need to know about the Broncos?
That tells you, no, but the Broncos are better than the Jets. They're not going to be. They're bringing over that Robert Saleh San Francisco culture where they're going to build from the ground out. I love Robert Saleh as a coach. They're going to bring over that San Francisco tradition where you build through the offensive defensive line, and they're going to be back in the playoffs here in the next 3 to 4 years. I'm sorry. That team is going to on the. I think the Jaguars. Don't even get me started.
I think Von Miller is completely upset with this organization the way it has.
Oh, I would.
Just the way they've treated players, the way they treat other players, just the mismanagement at such a colossal level.
Can I say something? The clown Hong Kong, Zach Bai, said that he had this story all ready to come out and he was going to tell the story. Yet he decided not to tell it. Could you imagine if Zach Bai, I'm calling you out, buddy. Dude, I have lost all respect for that station. That it just makes me so disgusted because you are getting rid of a guy who meant so much to Pat Bowlen. It was Adam Peters who drafted Von Miller. It wasn't John Elway. I don't know how many times I have to explain this to people. But
everything good was John Elway. Everything bad was everybody else. So
this team makes me sick. It just makes me sick. It's where you have the new Cleveland Browns. It's a news article every week. Oh, Melvin Gordon in his court date pleaded not guilty. Do I really want that on my team? Get rid of Melvin Gordon. I'm sick and tired of him. Okay, you did good the last 10 games of the year, but where was that the 10 games before that? Please just tell me.
I know. A peewee football player even knows to wait for your blocking. So, yeah, I'm glad that I brought that. Also, I had to remind Shermer that you need to keep one of your running backs back here to block
and they've started doing that too. I mean, we are so ahead of the curve of these walnut brain people.
I should just have a fake resume and say, yeah, I worked in New England. I worked with the Saints. I worked
with the Colts.
Just so it sounds good, and then I can make 10 times better decision than these idiots. It's unbelievable. It's just wow. I mean, I don't know.
It's just for them to compare this offensive line to the late 90s offense.
If it wasn't for this COVID clown show, I mean, I'd love to work with kids and help them with blocking schemes, all the core stuff we talk about. All the, how you find a good football player is, and keep away from the hot tub time machines is find out, what do you think about the game or how do you feel about it? And
what's your love of the game like? That's why I love Buffalo and how they built their team so much. They get real NFL players and they get players that want to play. Unlike the Broncos,
they have a grasp. They don't have the pea brain. They have the grasp.
Absolutely. This team is a joke.
Put through programs and coached properly all the way from the early days to moving forward. I mean, it's like there's the special players have the ESP. I'm telling you, they got the ESP. When you play and you can feel, you don't even. It's almost like kung fu. You got a blindfold on, but you can feel everything around you.
Absolutely.
It's just like you drive a car, right? You ever drive and feel like you can see things before they happen? Well, that's how it is. Like for good football players, you start to see things before they happen, and most of the time there's patterns to that.
I always compare it like this. It's like a musical instrument. It eventually will come to you if you work on it and you build your craft, just like with football. It's just like with football.
But you have to love it.
You have to love. Yes, absolutely. You have to love the game. The game isn't going to love you back unless you love the game. Okay.
I mean, if you're on the defense, you got to be a little bit homicidal because.
Oh yeah, every time I played football when I was in high school, I'd come to blow your head off.
Yeah,
you can't do that anymore. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore.
Well, and it's a two-way sword. This is what Uncle told me when I was like really just a kid playing football back in that day. He said, you need to go out there and want to take their head off, but this is the thing you got to understand. You got to be willing to have your head taken off too.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's football.
Buckle up and let's go. Let's go to work.
Exactly. And me.
And you know what? That's what's funny about this whole thing. Sorry to interrupt you. This is what's happening. We're gonna forget about what makes a football team, and even in high school, if the offense and defensive line isn't producing to the level that your offense or defense needs to produce to win a game, you're not going to have any success in whatever college, high school, NFL. It's the same way. It's the same exact way. Quarterback. The quarterback is going to get killed if you don't have the guys that are willing to play on the offense and defensive line. The more injury-prone players come from the offensive and defensive line because they are in the trenches. That's where a lot of the dirty stuff and a lot of the buckle up, let's go to work goes into. Okay, it's not this quarterback that makes everything run. It's baloney. Okay, it's baloney.
Yeah. Quarterbacks, it's just so funny. It's just, it's quarterback
receivers, corners. Yeah, right. We forget about linebackers, defensive line, and offensive line, even tight end, blocking tight ends.
Yeah,
blocking tight ends have a huge effect too. Our blocking tight ends suck, by the way. I just want to bring that up before that gets out there.
Oh yes.
Nick Vanette and Troy Fumagalli, get out of here. Get out of here.
Well, as much as good as Fant is at a receiver, is a great receiver. He's
not a good blocker.
He is definitely not a good pass blocker. Now, maybe I could have to really. I'd have to get your all 22 film and actually watch him run block. I haven't really paid attention.
He's an effort guy. He's an effort. I will give him this. He does really try to do that, but he's not a T.J. Hawkinson. He's not a George Kittle. He's not a Travis Kelce. He's not a Rob Gronkowski. Let me just say that. He's like an Evan Ingram type from the Giants.
He's not a Lionel Taylor, huh?
No. He's no Shannon Sharp.
No, well, actually, he's probably a lot faster than Lionel Taylor, but Lionel Taylor could block. One thing that he could actually throw a block.
I don't think people realize a guy named Tony Scheffler. A guy that I liked a lot. Tony Scheffler.
Yes.
A guy that I liked a lot, who was a blocking / he could catch the ball. He was your traditional tight end back then, and then Josh McDaniels got rid of him. But that being said, I love Tony Scheffler.
Well, no, because Gronkowski predated Josh McDaniels' trip to Denver.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tony Scheffler was your original Rob Gronkowski, and people won't remember that.
You know what? So I thought was interesting is that when we got what was it, Josh McDaniels? When we got Josh McDaniels, I know Patriot fans, and I just asked them. I said, "Well, what about this guy?" And they were like, I thought, "Oh boy, here we go."
Right.
Yeah, they just say goodbye to your running game, and they were right.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing here. It's happening right now with Shermer. Say goodbye to your running game.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, we got Melvin Gordon. So.
Well, I'm just saying, like, when we started bringing up the pulling the guard, they weren't doing that, and our running game was getting so they revert back to throwing 40 times a game. And then look what happened when Locke actually had time to throw the ball. He actually made completions, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's very difficult. Very difficult. Walnut brains.
All right. Well, there's our rant for today. I guess we could just call this another rant. I'll make a video of that one play there that they get thrown off the side. I got to get around to get.
I'll try and send you the film on. What did you want me to send you the film on again? Sorry.
You wanted? I can't remember. Right off the top of my. We'll have to coordinate that.
I'll send you footage of the linebackers. I'll just do that because I want.
Oh, you mean about who we want to get, or
no, both. I can send you both on film and our current linebackers who they say that they're all world linebackers.
Yeah, you could do that. We could.
I'll send you that.
Yeah, and then I'll post something about see the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. There's an assignment for you.
There you go.
All right. Take care.
Yeah. You too. Have a good one.
Okay. You too. Bye.
Bye.